Hi everyone, Eddie Wu here. It's a real privilege to be speaking to you as part of National Eos Awareness Week. Eos Awareness Week is all about helping our community understand what eosinophilic disorders are and appreciate what it's like to live with them and the struggles that can mean. My family is affected by eosinophilic disorders. My son has eosinophilic esophagitis, and so I was really grateful for the help of communities like ausEE, which was started by Sarah Gray in response to the fact that there was so little information out there about this very rare set of disorders. And so as part of this week, what I want to read to you is a book that Sarah wrote called Meet Arabella. It's something which I found enormously helpful to know that we weren't alone and to wrap our head around the particular struggles that our son was going through. So it's amazingly the 10th anniversary of this book, and you can get a copy of this at the ausEE website. It's really wonderful to get a better sense of what the people around us are experiencing, especially when some of the struggles can be really invisible and they often affect us socially. So I'm going to read this book now and I hope you enjoy. This is Meet Arabella by Sarah Gray. Arabella is just like every other kid in her class, except sometimes she gets bubbles in her throat and rumbles in her tummy. It is not unusual for Arabella to get bubbles in her throat and rumbles in her tummy because she's been getting those feelings for as long as she can remember. It all started when Arabella was a baby. She was just like every other baby in her playgroup, except when Arabella ate food, it didn't make her feel good. It made her feel sick. Sometimes she got a tummy ache. Sometimes she had runny poo, and sometimes she found it hard to swallow her food. Arabella's mum and dad did not know what was making her feel that way, so they took her to the doctor. The doctor did not know what was making Arabella feel that way either, so he said she needed to have some tests. One of the tests Arabella had to have was a blood test. She tried to be very brave. But still, Arabella's doctor could not find what was making her feel that way. He suggested that she go to a special doctor called a pediatrician. The pediatrician thought about all the things Arabella was feeling and said that she needed to see a stomach doctor called a gastroenterologist. The gastroenterologist said she wanted to have a look inside Arabella's throat and tummy with a special camera called an endoscope. She hoped that the endoscopy would help her to find out what was making Arabella feel that way. Arabella was a little scared when she went to the hospital for the endoscopy, but a very nice doctor called an anaesthetist helped her to go to sleep. When she woke up, the endoscopy was all over, and she only had a little sore throat. They finally knew what was making Arabella feel that way. The gastroenterologist said that she had something called Isinophilic Esophagitis. Her mum and dad said, what? So she explained that it meant Arabella had too many white blood cells called eosinophils in her throat, and that these blood cells didn't like it when she ate certain foods. She said most people called it EOE for short. Now that all the doctors knew that Arabella had EOE, they could try to make her feel better. The doctor said Arabella would feel better if she drank a special type of drink called an elemental formula. The doctor explained that if Arabella did not drink enough of the formula to grow big and strong, then she may need to have it through a tube. The tube could be put down her nose into her tummy or straight into her tummy by something called a PEG, or a button. The doctor also wanted Arabella to visit another special doctor called an allergist to help find out what foods she may be allergic to. Arabella was a little nervous when she met the allergist for the allergy testing, but it didn't hurt much at all, and they found out she was allergic to egg, dairy, soy, corn, wheat, and fish. So Arabella stopped eating those foods, and she went to talk to a dietitian about the best foods for her to eat. That was 5 years ago, and Arabella doesn't remember much of it very well. Now, she is 7 years old. Every day before school, she has to have her medicines and then pack her special formula to give her energy at school. Sometimes her classmates help to remind her to drink her formula. They know why she needs it because the teacher explained to the kids about her allergies and her eosinophilic esophagitis. They all said, "Eosino what?" Arabella is the only kid in her school that has EOE, and sometimes this makes her feel different. But one day, Arabella met a boy named Henry who had EOE too, and it made her feel good to know someone who was just like her. Do you know someone like Arabella? And that's the end of the story. I hope you found that a lovely insight into the world of children and adults who suffer from eosinophilic disorders. They can affect the esophagus or anywhere along the gastrointestinal tract. And one of the most challenging things about it is that because it affects the food that you eat and it's often misunderstood, it really has an impact on every social interaction you have. So many of the times that we gather to celebrate or be joyful and enjoy each other's company is when we eat. So sensitivity and understanding to that is super important, and that's why I'm so grateful for this story. I hope you have a great National EOS Awareness Week. There are lots of other fantastic videos being released, and I hope they all enrich your understanding of these conditions and what we can do to help people who suffer from them.